Today is Sunday, January 14th, 2018, and this is the Roaming Viking Podcast. Episode 15. Yeah, 15. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about cold weather survival and traveling in cold weather. So, let's get this thing started. Alright, everybody. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to travel and survive in cold weather. We're going to be going over, how to travel, whether it be driving or flying. Grant, you're probably not going to be the one flying. We're going to go over clothing, types of clothing, how to layer and stuff like that. And then we're going to be talking about some of the masters of cold weather survival, actually the homeless. So, real quick, no matter what, always check the weather if you're going to be traveling in cold weather, because a lot of people don't know how to drive in like snow and stuff like that. Granted, it doesn't have to be snowing for it to be cold. Trust me, we just got out of a nice little polar vortex here on the East Coast. Actually, most of the country was in a polar vortex, even though I don't consider 60 degrees in freaking Texas cold, but oh well. But yeah, check the weather. If it's going to be below 32 degrees, make sure you wear a coat. I mean, really, it's just, yeah. But also, make sure your car has plenty of fluids, windshield wiper fluid, de-icing fluid. And if it's snowing out or icy out, make sure you have snow chains. These things come in handy, especially for an Uber driver or a Lyft driver like me. So make sure you have all these things. And make sure you give yourself enough time to get places. Like, leave an extra, in some cases, 30 minutes early. I mean, if it's going to be really bad. And if it's a blizzard, don't drive in it. I've done this before. It's not fun. I mean, really, driving in a blizzard is not fun at all. So make sure you use common sense when driving in the snow. And when it's just cold weather, just make sure you warm up your vehicle a little bit. It takes about 10 minutes if you just get in your car and warm it up. Also, do not leave your car unattended if you do decide to warm it up, because in a lot of cases, it actually is breaking the law. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a lawyer. And also, your state may be different. Okay, I know it is here in Maryland. Also, if you know you're going to be flying in cold weather, make sure you leave early. And no matter what, you want to leave early if you're going to be flying, just to make sure you get there on time. But if you're going to be like going through cold weather and it's snowing, you might experience some layoffs, so use your judgment. All right, next up, clothing. When it comes down to clothing, you really actually want to go out and buy good gear. Cheap shit will not get you by in any sort of cold weather situation, because it's cheap and it's going to break. So invest in really good cold weather clothing. Under Armour Cold Gear is kind of like what I use. It's good for like thermals and stuff like that, or just buy regular thermals. They work. I just like to upgrade my equipment periodically. And really, you want to layer by first putting on the thermals. Well, underwear, then thermals, obviously. Make sure you have a good pair of like wool socks if you're allergic to wool socks. They have the synthetic wool out there, which will help you out a lot if you get cold. And also, wool will wick away sweat and is resistant to moisture, so that's always a good thing to say. And these things cost good wool socks can cost anywhere from like $15 to $30. Really good thermals can run about the same amount, maybe a little more. Next up is like when it comes to clothing, try not to wear cotton. Cotton retains moisture, and moisture is your enemy in cold weather situations. So, yeah, avoid cotton if you can. Next up is like, wear like a fleece, like a vest or overcoat or jacket thing, just to keep you insulated even further. And then coats. This all depends on your region. Like if you're in like Chicago or northern Alaska, or just Alaska in general, you want to wear like have yourself a really good parka. These things cost you about $200-$300 for a really good one. I personally don't have one because I don't need one. I mean, I live in Maryland. It does get cold, but it's not really cold enough for long enough to buy a parka. So when I move to Chicago, I plan on buying myself a parka there. Let's see, what else do I got on there? Make sure you buy good shit. It's just in your best interest. Always make sure you layer, because remember, you can always take stuff off. You can, but if you don't have the stuff with you, you can't put more stuff on. So make sure you go, blah 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 blah. Can't speak today. Oh well. So make sure you go undies, then thermals, then whatever you're wearing over that, like jeans, a nice shirt or something, your everyday wear. Then you want to make sure you keep your upper body warm, because your lower body can actually handle a lot more cold than your upper body, and also your upper body is where all your core vital organs are, and you want to keep them nice and toasty. Let's see. Also, then the fleece, then coat. Now, like I said, your coat should vary depending on the region. Like I have a nice little leather coat that keeps me nice and toasty on the nice cold days we're having right now. So next up is talking about the masters of survival in cold weather, is like the homeless. I mean, these people survive outside every day. Some of these people do choose, but most don't. But here's a few things that I've actually learned from them. Is when it comes down to insulation, other than having a few extra blankets and having them over you, is you can use newspaper, crumpled up newspaper, and put them in between your sweater, hoodie, your jacket, and it actually does help keep you warm. Using crumpled up newspaper and stuff like that. Let's see, what's else. Always keep dry. Like I said, moisture is the enemy when it comes down to surviving and traveling in cold weather, because water gets cold very quickly, and if the water on you gets cold, you get cold, and it's not good if you get cold in these situations. So got to make sure you keep yourself dry. Another trick that I've learned from different homeless people that I've talked to is to put plastic bags over your feet and tie them. This will help keep moisture out and heat in, and just make sure, like I said, moisture is the enemy. Moisture is the enemy. Another thing that they have told me is you got to keep moving. When you're moving, your body generates heat, and heat equals life in these situations. Because sometimes you can't always get to a shelter, and you have to be able to survive the night. But if you have to stop moving and get some sleep because you're just so tired, well, always make sure you're layered up and well insulated, and try to go to sleep warm and with a full belly, because if you wake up cold, it's going to be a lot harder to warm yourself up and stuff like that. And Another thing that homeless people like to do, you know how you see them sleeping near like grates? Well, those are ventilation grates, steam grates. Those things are really warm. Granted, it's moisture, but it's really warm, and they tend to go throughout the night. So that's like how they're keeping warm in the winter. But in most cases, if it gets so cold, like it's a cold blue, like well below freezing, like in the negative temperatures, most homeless people will try and seek out a shelter. And within cold blue situations with most cities, the police will actually go pick up homeless people and drive them to warming places or shelters so they don't die. In cold blue situations, it's illegal to sleep on the outside because you will most likely die. So it's a good thing to have. So yeah, these are just some of the things that I have learned throughout the years and how to survive in cold weather. Now when it comes down to, I'm going to go back to driving for a second. So when it comes down to driving in cold weather, it's just, it's interesting. It just takes a lot of experience and knowing when not to drive. Like, I've missed out on, some good Uber opportunities because I just didn't feel comfortable driving in the snow because it was just like terrible. Also, most people in Maryland don't know how to drive in freaking snow. It sucks. Yeah, so that is everything right now. Yeah, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. All the links are down below. Let's see. Oh yeah, go to roamingviking.com for blog posts. I'm in the process of writing a bunch right now. They're coming out slow because I'm really bad at writing. If you have any questions, I'll be posting what I'm going to be doing with the next solo episode on Twitter and Instagram and the Facebook page. So if you want to give me a scenario that you want to answer when it comes down to these situations, please ask. Or if you have any questions about cold weather survival, or even if you have some things that I have missed, please message me. There's a contact page on my website. Just click on the website, just scroll down, and you'll see contact. Just write down the subject matter, like a question, or like you forgot something, you dumb asshole, and write in your question and just submit, and I will get back to it within 24 hours. And yeah, that is everything. So everybody have a good day. Next episode will be on Thursday. Haven't decided on what it's going to be on yet, so I'm going to check Twitter, Instagram, Facebook for that. And see you, everybody.